Well, good evening, internets. It's me, DP Knudten, for another edition of Bookward Bound, my 301-day journey from I should really do this to done. And that's what I'm here doing, even though it's election night. And I don't think tonight's going to be terribly long. But I did need to come down here and do this because it's the days are burning through. And let's see, today is the 3rd. So this would be episode 242. Which means I've got 59 days left to go. Well, let me quickly do this. Just to make 242. 59 days left to go in this incredible journey from I should really do this to done. And what is that done? That done is the creation of a brand new book that I will be self-publishing on Amazon's Kindle Direct Publishing platform on January 1st, 2021. But only if I keep working on it, which is why I'm coming down here every single night, even election night, to work on the book in one way or another for at least a few minutes. Now, as I said, tonight's not going to be a long edition of this because I want to go watch the election returns and all that stuff, but I do need to do something. So I think what I'm going to do is take you on over to Scrivener, the application I'm using to write the book. You can see the main section right here where I do the writing. And then over here, these are all the chapters in the book with my color coding flags of green means good to go, blue means needs some editing, yellow means it's not quite fully written yet, and then red means, dude, you haven't written anything in there. And well, I am definitely making a lot of progress here, but I got to keep going. So I'm going to go into the section I was working on last night and read through this quote. You can see all the stuff in italics is actually a verbatim quote of Richard Moore. That's Richard Moore right there, talking about his personal brand. And I'm just going to start reading this and see if there's any parts I want to just cut out. In 2015, I led momentarily with a brand, which was at the time called 8-Step Startup, which is 8 themes, 73 lessons, video, how to go to business, and I led with that. And it was like a footnote by Richard Moore. Big mistake, because what happened was, I was building a brand that I had to have fly. Otherwise, it was like, now what? By building a brand around myself, I am the hub, and I take it, and I take me with, and I take it with me forever. And so I brought a good, I built. And so if I brought a good personal brand, if I built a good personal brand, I can bolt new products onto it. That's why in March last year, I'm going to just delete out the when I started on LinkedIn and said to myself, in 3 months' time in June, I will launch a basics of LinkedIn course showing how I've learned, what I've learned this far, what I've learned thus far. And I was able to get really good traction. So I said, hey, everyone that knows me, here's a product. Here's a product bolted on. And they're like, cool, let's jump on there because I was a known quantity. So the other thing, it goes back to that. So the other thing, comma, it goes back to that point I made earlier, is that all the people you will ever work with who will consume your content, who may buy from you or who will endorse you in some way, they've all been heavily conditioned in the last 3 to 4 years that if you look at company brands, it's just not this inspiring. I spend maybe a third of my time with corporates showing them how to, and showing them how and get the content game correct on, say, LinkedIn, for instance. And get their content game correct on LinkedIn, for instance. How many times have you seen a post with check out our latest article and there's no space, there's no, there's a logo. And it's like, who am I speaking to here? And the reality is that consumers and people, when they consume content, in my opinion, they want it to be from an authentic, in the way I've described, person. Because that mouthpiece represents not just value, because you can get value from a business, but it represents clarity, it represents human, and therefore represents trust. By building a brand around myself, I am the hub, I am the hub, and I can take it forever. So around myself. So if I brought a good personal brand built, a good personal brand, I can bolt new. That's exactly what Neil Schaefer said with slightly different words. Both of these master personal marketers have realized that the first principal foundation for literally everything they do is themselves. So how do they build upon that foundation? Through the compounding power of consistency. Blah, 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 blah. Okay, that's good. A personal brand, and to earn all to doesn't value. I don't like. How about you can do good product limits. Or it just makes sense to lay foundation, base, brand foundation on the unique, defensible, flexible, you 100% own. Oops. Self. Yeah. I can live with that. All right. So it's only been 10 minutes, but as I said, it's election night. I'm sorry. For me, politics is a blood sport. It's the only sport I care to engage with at all. So I think what I'm going to do is shut this down for tonight, but that's okay because I'll be back here tomorrow. Not every night has to be a marathon writing session, but it has to be a session of some length. So tonight, I'm going to say 10 minutes is a big win. So that's it for me tonight. I'm DP Knudten for the Nonfiction Brand podcast, which comes out every single Monday. Don't miss this week's episode with Leah Rowe, a friend of mine who's really great. You can get new episodes of the podcast wherever you get fine podcasts for free. Just search Nonfiction Brand and look for my lovely face in black and white, as you can see right there. And you'll know you're looking at the right thing, because that is, in fact, the cover art for the podcast. Not the entire book, but that middle section. You know what I'm talking about. Anyway, I'll talk to you next time, which is actually tomorrow night around the same time period. Until then, theme music. Take us on out. I'll see you tomorrow night. Bye-bye.